Snoopy's robot boat is still having a little bit of work done at the back, but the important thing is that June and myself took a trip to Bray Lake to check that everything would be okay for us to do some robot boat tests on Bray Lake if and when the boat is ready. Yes, we're at Bray Lake in COVID lockdown, and here's June. June, instructions. Yes. Do not climb on the fence. You see that Bray Lake has done a lot of good work here in terms of fencing, details like parking. Please park nose in. Clubhouse is pretty well the same as it ever was, and of course so is Snoopy's base near the drain. And what's a bit different is that instead of my dumb phone, which is what I still use, I've also brought my Samsung U5, £60 from Tesco, probably £10 from China. I came, I think it was last weekend, and there was still quite a lot of people. So we're going to take our walk out this way. Out past the usual bungee spot. Oh, I've still got my mask on. I did pop into the clubhouse to see if I could get onto the Wi-Fi networks, but enough of that. So people enjoying themselves and walking around the lake. Segway events. Again, might be on pause, don't know. But a familiar spot to us. Certainly work still being done with safety fences and things. And the hospice opening across the lake. Yeah, according to June, she said it was on the news today, wasn't it? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Brilliant. Another familiar spot here where we monitor Snoopy on 24/7 testing with the footbridge coming into the corner of the lake, and where we launch Snoopy on 24/7 testing. Not that spot there, which I think is near a drain, and this is where we normally launch Snoopy on 24/7 testing after we've done a Bray Lake test. Good to see people out there. Lovely spot. Yeah, bit noisy here, isn't it, June?
Yeah.
Yeah, got the motorway alongside us here. So this is the spot where the Segway track goes into the woods. But of course for the robot boat fanatics, it's further around here. Motorway up there, Segway track towards the footbridge. Yeah, so that's the exit from the wildlife trail that goes around the other lake there. But of course Bray Lake is this one. Yeah, okay. So this is the footbridge with the other wildlife lake on that side, and view of the clubhouse, and that's where we've often watched Snoopy doing his business. Nearly at the end, another accessible spot, probably popular with the fishermen. Just here, again, good view of the lake. Right, before we go into the wildlife sanctuary, we'll just walk up to the corner here. Confirm things are pretty well the way they've always been. Yeah, so this is the corner, view across the lake, and the walk around the lake, which includes of course the care home. And if we keep walking, it's just a few yards from the main road. But now we're going to pop back and have a quick look at the nature spot. We go into the nature area. Because I remember we saw, what was that wildflower we saw in here before, June? Just down here. Yeah, wild orchids. And oh, this does, in fact, is that some there? No, something different, I think. Yes, it is something different. But somebody has mowed this, which is nice. Good. I don't know what it is. Yeah, okay, there's the lake. Yeah, this is a spot where one of our friends we used to meet at Bray Lake had come to photograph kingfishers. And I've got to be careful not to release the wrong information, but allegedly a couple of young boys a few years ago who lived somewhere up not far away did find Snoopy that drifted into the bank late one evening and made a phone call looking at the contact information asking if there was a reward. Yes, we all know about that, don't we, June? The boys that wanted a reward for finding Snoopy. Yeah. Of course, the tracker showed exactly where he was in their back garden, and Street View showed where the house was, including their little bicycles parked on the front lawn. It sounds like a red kite somewhere. Not to worry. Time to walk back, yeah?
Yep.
Just seeing if she can get anybody on a smartphone like Dick. Who's that ugly bloke? Can't imagine he'd be able to take the call. He'd be too busy looking after grandchildren and things. Not to worry, he's got more important things to do, that's for sure. Haven't we all? Blooming Himalayan balsam near the cut, and getting back on our walk. There's a footpath there across to other lakes and getting close to the clubhouse. Yeah, so this is the spot where they can slide their kayaks down into the cut, just a few yards from the clubhouse.
It's overgrown.
Right, this is pretty well the same. Obviously, being careful COVID requirements and things. Clubhouse. Observation post, same. And it says the exit this way. Not there, they've had a bit of fire damage there by the look of it. Heron. Here we go. And I think June was going to get the car. Oh, yeah, here we go. So I guess this is where I get my cigar and newspaper and sit in the back while my chauffeur drives me home. I don't think so. Bit of experimenting going on. We've just had a session on Zoom with our workmates, and now June's got her mobile there as well, working also with her Windows 10 laptop and the Windows 7. See if we get any news now.
Measures will come into force in Lancashire tomorrow, meaning no mixing between households, indoors or outdoors in certain settings.
Well, Windsor and Maidenhead apparently put in a request, but I missed that bit on the news, but not to worry.
It probably isn't on yet.
Should avoid non-essential more closures unless there's extra money for businesses affected. Don't you know how to make a quick decision and when?
It's far better to do it together because we want the maximum local buy-in, the maximum local enforcement and the maximum local compliance, and that means local leadership. I hope that
has been found mass testing for coronavirus will be the solution to reopening the economy and society. Boris Johnson says several kinds of rapid tests are being looked at, some that can provide results in just 15 minutes.
Yes, we know.
It comes as a
They can do it in Greece.
I know, exactly.
A hotel can do it.
I know, exactly.
60% last week.
This is something where we got a little bit of useful information from June. Right, June, what was it you had to say?
Yeah, look, we had a 15-minute result of a pinprick blood test for the coronavirus antigen in Greece in the hotel. So if a hotel can do it, why can't they do it over here?
Yeah, good point. And that was in Greece, don't forget. Oh, he's got a laptop. June decided she wants to go into the, hello there, into the kitchen, do some cooking, ready for my favourite tipple, which is the non-alcoholic wine. And during the cooking, what is that then?
Fajitas.
Pardon?
Fajitas.
Tajitas.
Fajitas.
Oh, what's that? Is that Indian or something?
No. Mexican.
Oh, Mexican. Okay. For those guys who are interested in what's been going on, it's mostly tidying up of the layout and gradually tidying up of the wiring, including labelling of what's inside the box. All the other work had been done in the recent months. Yes, that's solder has kept me going for, I don't know, probably 15 years, 20 years, and looks like some more has come. It's checking my emails that I haven't had a chance to look at, and it only takes me a few minutes to see what my in tray is. It says order delivered, right? So, as if I didn't know, the parcel had arrived. Yes, substantially packaged, and let's just test the solder. See if that works. So the key thing is, if we self-flexing solder, so it should easily work, and it does seem to. Lovely. The most significant change today was the update to the contact page. Only takes a second or two to scroll down through the whole page. For example, visit counter, might see your visit. Ours comes up at Ascot at the moment, and there's lots of other stuff, but obviously a bit more than just the name and address. It also says other ways of communicating, and that's some useful background there, which is video chatting and all the rest of it. So it's a bit more than just the obvious contact details. It's always good to know who you're talking to, and so what we've had for the best part of 25 years is family stuff, and this is simply a bit more up to date. We spent the first night, Friday night, in Plymouth, visiting the Hoe. We did a bit of exploring until we found where James Lovelock used to live.
Treat science like art. In other words, don't expect to make a living from it. Enjoy it. That is certainly how James Lovelock treated his career, and at the beginning of his second century, he is as cheerful as ever.
I've never been so happy. I'd always thought the moment you passed 100, life started going downhill and there was miseries and, staggering all over the place. Well, I may stagger about, couldn't care less, but it's really enjoyable.
Yes, it was St Giles on the Heath, and they had a place called Combe Mill. That's the house, and his laboratory was just there, but most of the kit has been taken into the Science Museum. So that's enough of that. Whoopsie daisy. Just tripped over something. So, been called to dinner. So, that's it. Time to close.